The editor in Web Content Studio is a what you see is what you get editor. So information that you type in can be highlighted and formatted using the toolbar up at the top. You can insert tables, you can format the text with highlighting, change the color of text, and the usual formatting options that you get. One of the nice features of Web Content Studio is if you've been using the Scratchpad to save notes while you've been researching the topic, you can open up a little pop-up Scratchpad here, which then shows you the whole contents of your Scratchpad. You can minimize it if you want to. And then you've got your notes right there next to you, so you can then just write your article with reference to your notes as you go. The idea behind using a what you see is what you get editor is that the article as you write it here, as it appears here, that is how it will appear on your web page, and you can ensure that by exporting the article when it's finished. You've also got features in the article editor like article templates, and article templates basically help you to quickly create the structure for an article. There's two here that come with Web Content Studio, but you can add your own. This one is a template for creating article reviews, and we can send that directly to the editor, and here is that template for that article. Now we would just highlight that, type in our own title, answer this question, and so on. Insert the feature list down here as bullet points, and by the time you've finished, you end up with a complete article. We've also got the option of source code. That means you can go in and use this as a web page editor rather than just an article editor. You could go in there and you could type in a title for your page. You can put in, let's say, a meta description. And that's now copied to the clipboard, so I can then go in and paste in the description. I could do the same for keywords if I wanted to, and then save it so that those changes are now in the web page. And when we come to export, we can export it as an actual web page if we want to. You can see the plain text, that's just the text that appears on the page as well for your own information. Over this side of the editor, we've got the theme word section, and to show you that, I'll open up a new article. Okay, so here's an article I did earlier. The theme words, you can see them listed here. Also theme phrases. The difference between theme words and theme phrases is theme phrases have more than one word in them. Theme words have just a single word. And then we can go down and have a look at the reports. You can check keywords. This report will basically show you which keywords have been used, how many times, and if any keyword doesn't appear in the list, then it will also tell you. You can have a look at the keyword map. That shows you where the keywords are in your content. The little blue line basically means that those two words are joined into a keyword phrase. So if we look at this, diabetes, alert, dog, all three of those are theme words, but because they're joined by blue lines, we also know that diabetes, alert, dog is a theme phrase that we're using. And then we've got the theme report, which basically will give us a summary of our article. And it gives us a theme score, which basically says how well the article is themed. And, you know, we've done pretty well theming that article, but it also gives us a quality theme score. And this takes into account how much theming there is. If you look up here, we see that the article is themed 31.6%. That means that there's a theme word found every 3.2 article words, and so that might look a little bit heavy in the eyes of Google. So this is a built-in sort of penalty score that is supposed to raise your awareness to a potential problem there. And the other button we've got here is to check the theme words against the top 10. And what we can do there is we could type in the main phrase for this article, diabetes, alert, dogs, and let's just do it and I can show you. The software goes off to Google to compare my theme words with the top 10 pages in Google. And when it finishes its analysis, it will give me the relative scores for the top 10 positions in Google, as well as a list of how many of the top 10 pages the theme words were found on. So you can see that bark was only found on 1 of the top 10, parent was only found on 2. And what you can do is you can get Web Content Studio to automatically remove any theme words that don't appear on a certain number. So I could say, well, let's remove all theme words that don't appear on at least 4 of the top 10 pages. And I could click OK, and then those theme words would automatically be removed from my list. Let's just have a look at another article here to see how the theme report can help us. And we can see here the word counts. We can also see a couple of our words haven't been included in the article. If we open up the missing helper screen, we can keep this screen open, close this one, and then we can go in and edit our article, all the time having this screen as a reference. If we double click on the phrase, that's now copied the word poultry to the clipboard, and I can just paste it in wherever into my article, and I can go back and I can do the same with the next theme word as well. Obviously you want to put these in where that makes sense, but you can see that you can quickly make sure that all the theme words that you wanted in your article are in your article. Finally, before we leave this overview of the editor, we've got one other feature I wanted to show you. That is, if we click on a word here, you get the data about that word. So the word chicken has a density of 4.19%. First occurrence, prominence is 57%. Now, prominence is a measure of how close to the beginning of the article the word appears. If it appears as the very first word, then it's got a prominence of 100%. If it appears as the last word, it's a prominence of 1%. So that first occurrence prominence of 57.07 means that it appears just before the halfway line. There we go. The average prominence is a measure of where on average that word is appearing in the document. Below 50% means it's more towards the second half of the article. Above 50% means it's closer to the beginning of the article. So that gives you a quick way of checking whether you've got the important keywords up in the first part of the article where it's more important to have them.